I have two bills I wanted to talk about. I wanted to thank you so much for beating back. One was, I think, HB 194, and I don't know if there's an acronym for that, but it's pretty much calling, it's about, we hate the voters, and it was the bill that they tried to further beat back the early voting time from what we have 21 days down to 12. And thank goodness that did not go through. It's because we already lost one in 2011 from 45 down to 21. And we must, of course, make voting legal. Everyone have the ability to vote. That's really, really important. I also wanted to talk about RFRA, which was SB 129, I think. And then from a senator that's not sitting here with me today, Josh McCoon, who's a Republican, but that has gotten international intrigue. And we are thankful and hoping that you continue to toe the line on anything that that speaks to discrimination. And I think that bill speaks to discrimination just as much as I think that the bill to beat back early voting speaks to discrimination, because you're discriminating against people if you are not allowing the people to vote. And we are so, so, so grateful. I can't tell you how many times I wrote to you all to thank you for doing this, for standing up for doing that, and also for standing up for a bill that didn't get over crossover, which is FEPA, the Federal Employment Practices Act, whatever, to make sure there's no discrimination against the LGBT community. But there are so many things that you all did in your 40 days that we are so, so grateful for. I want to make sure you know that we are behind you and that we're going to be with you for the next session and the next session and the next. And we have the best contingent. I'm not biased. We have the best contingent. I'm so grateful that you're here.
Well, thank you so much. Bill 194 was the #1 priority for the House Democrats beat back, and I'm sure the Senate felt the same way, because it's perverse. It says we're going to do a Sunday voting day, but we're going to take away half of the early voting period. And that bill was threatening to rear its ugly head time and time again, but it's not over because we have next year. So the bill is still alive, and it can come up next year, and we are. Our caucus is 100% against doing that kind of thing, but it also brings up the fact that our local board is looking at whether or not we're going to have Sunday voting. We already had one public hearing, and there are 2 more public hearings scheduled. And so locally, I would encourage everybody to go and participate and talk to them about why Sunday voting is important and why we want to give our voters every opportunity to become a part of the electoral process. So that's my little ad for that. To please go out and participate. I can find it for you, and I'll give you just a second. The other thing on RFRA, the Religious Freedom Restoration Act. Thanks to Arkansas and Indiana, we did not get that here in Georgia because of the negative impact that it had on the local economies there. And the business community is not in favor of that. And of course, none of us want to see any of our citizens discriminated against in any way. I know that most of you all are too young to remember, but it is not too far removed from the fact when there was 2 signs, even at the doctor's office. You had a colored waiting room and you had a white waiting room, and it was state sanctioned. That kind of discrimination was state sanctioned, and that's what you're really talking about. We don't want to go back to a place or an era where anyone is discriminated against. And on this day, as we remember the Holocaust, we remember that people of all stripes have been unfairly treated, not only in our country, but in this world. And we do not want to contribute that as citizens of Georgia. So I can assure you that we would not be in support of that, and we'll do everything that we can with the one vote that we have to stop it.
I'm grateful. Thank you.
Yes, hi. I just wanted to first off say thank you all for your work against the RFRA bill. Just to echo Patricia's statements, because me, Patricia, Jeremy Hobbs, and Tracy Boyd, and many other individuals have been working against this bill, advocating on social media, going out and protesting up in Atlanta, as well as in front of the government center downtown against this bill. And I remember, Representative Smiley, that on the night that the SPLOST vote won, that when I asked you when you're getting into your car, and I know I was kind of hunting you down for just that one question, but I know, yeah. But you said that when I asked about the bill and about what does the Democratic caucus have anything to say on this matter or against this matter, and you said, "Don't worry, we got it," and you had it, and so I thank you. I thank Senator Harbison, Hughley, Representative Hughley, Representative Buckner for their votes against this bill. But I also wanted to ask another thing about. In regards to what Patricia was mentioning earlier, like at the end of your question, about the FEPA bill that was put before by Representative Carla Drenner from up in Atlanta, and she was pushing for this bill, and this is like her second or third year pushing for this Fair Employment Practices Act, and Carla Drenner, and she was pushing for this bill that would just protect against discrimination on sexual orientation grounds within public employment for the state government. But in many states in this country, as well as in many jurisdictions, such as in Atlanta and Athens, Clark County, and in states such as, about half of the state of Florida and their counties and cities, they have substantive non-discrimination ordinances that protect against discrimination in employment of both public and private state actors, as well as contractors, as well as housing and public accommodations. I know that this is kind of a far-fetched, but is the Democratic or is the Democratic caucus, the minority caucus in both legislatures, going to be more proactive in the next session in pushing for a protection that will extend the social contract here in the state of Georgia to a whole new class of individuals, such as sexual orientation and gender identity, and not where people, the majority caucus is saying that, oh, we're just not allowing for behaviors to be sanctioned, yes. So basically, is that going to be an issue for the next session?
I think what we can say is that Ms. Representative Renner has introduced the bill for fair employment practices. This is her second or third time.
Right.
That has not gone far. To try to do more, probably not go any further. We are having to take things step by step, and sometimes they're baby steps.
And by way of history, every year we've been at the legislature, I can speak for, you're going to have a gun bill to expand gun rights. You've got a bill that will allow students who get drunk on campus to have guns within 100 feet of a college campus.
Wow.
Abortion, I mean, it's every year. That bill, RFRA bill, is coming back. It's a war, not a battle. So you have to keep that in mind. Every year, you're going to face these kinds of fights. Every year. So you might as well just.
Right.
I'm grateful that you all co-sponsored the FEPA bill. I mean, that was really a big deal. And I also wanted to give you the dates of the
Because I was trying to find
the dates for the Sunday voting. The next hearing will be in this room at 5:30 on August the 6th. And then there will be another one in this room at 5:30 on October the 1st.
Thank you, and
Really important.
please come and participate in those hearings with the Board of Elections, and let them know that citizens think that Sunday voting is important, and they need to hear from more than just elected officials. When we were there before, they were pretty dismissive of the fact that we were all elected officials, and they felt that we had a personal interest because our names were on the ballot. for having that, but it is